Nikki, hello Transport Evolved. I've got the curtains closed even though it's a really sunny day outside because I'm trying to sort out the lighting in this room. You seem to be advocating for people to have enough knowledge of cars to be able to know when they are being ripped off. That was the phrase you used, or something very similar. But does that only apply to cars, or does that apply to other things? Does that apply to when they're buying a house, when they're having gas work done, when they're having electrical work done, when they're getting a quote for carpets? The problem is that level of knowledge in enough things to not get ripped off is too much knowledge for one person to hold. It would require years of study, and I think we have to just admit that in today's world, things have got too complex for one person to know everything, and we have to trust our fellow man. Yeah, trust. But yes, people should know how to check tyre pressures, because in the UK we don't tend to have tyre pressure monitors in cars. And driving economically, I believe, is actually part of the driving test nowadays. They're taught to drive in a more economical way, so that's good. It's definitely the manufacturer's responsibility to ensure their dealers know about the cars they're selling. I'm glad we agree on that, and I think this is a very decisive element, and it's going to let us know who is serious about EVs and who isn't. It's not just about making the car, it's about training your staff too. Maybe we need some sort of secret shopper program. And yes, this rapid charge rollout, update, error fix in the UK is quite exciting. Hopefully it'll all go smoothly, and in 6 months to a year's time, we won't have any problems about rapid charges, but let's wait and see. Old EVs, I think, is a very interesting question. There's definitely an element that I like them being there to show how far we've come. When people see a G-Wiz and go, that's an electrical car, and then they actually see a Leaf or a Zoe or a Tesla or an iMeave, and they actually understand the journey that's happened in the time is really good. But Mayhem 007, very cool name, on our website, said that EVs are more akin to electronics than traditional cars, and I think I agree with him. You wouldn't buy a 10-year-old TV, you wouldn't buy an 8-year-old TV. So why would you buy an 8-year-old electric car? And there is some truth in that. But I think there will always be people who want these cars. I think that the G-Wiz will end up with following like the Morris Minor has, and you'll have G-Wiz meetups, and people will soup them up and have custom paint jobs on them and things like that. I think that would be quite cool, but I think they've got a very distinct place. And I think the same applies to our current generation. Our current generation isn't the generation that's going to stay. It's the next generation. The 300-mile cars, the 200 to 300-mile cars are the ones that will stay and be sold and reused. Our current generation of 70, 80, 90-mile cars, that's going to fade by the wayside too as well. But that's the price we paid for getting on the ride so early. What do I want to talk to you about? Tesla is now doing business leases of their cars, and we all know that Elon likes leasing. It's the model he wants people to do, mainly because it guarantees him an income and he gets to retain a lot of the material from the car. So the battery comes back to him, he gets to recycle it in his gigafactory, and his plans to dominate the world get one step closer to fruition. But now he's got this business lease program. It's a very important step for a manufacturer because it shows they're growing. They're not just about consumer cars now. They've got this bigger market, this business market to go for. And it's a very big market. Getting onto, in the UK, getting onto company car lists is a real boon and a real boost. And I can see the Model S and the Model X, especially the Model X in London, because people like those large cars in London, becoming the choice car for CEOs of companies. Now, these CEOs say it's my car, it won't be, it'll be a business car, but it's a really good thing to happen for both for Tesla and for the businesses and for the CEOs and for the environment. And I think it's a massive step for Tesla to take. Now, I don't know a lot about the economics of this. I don't know whether there's a risk associated with this. Will they be selling them cheaper or have a less of a return? So I guess that's my question to you is, what does this mean in a financial sense for Tesla? I presume it's good news. I presume this isn't, they're going into this because they're not making enough consumer sales. All the figures that I see suggest they are making enough consumer sales. So I see this as an expansion rather than a frantic, we need to sell more. But I don't know the economics of it. So if you've got any views on it in general and the economics on it, and if Transport Evolved audience, who we have some very clever people in our audience, know about the economics of it, please do let me know, because I'd love to know. But yeah, it's one step closer to possibly getting a Model S for me. Yeah! See you tomorrow, Nikki. See you tomorrow, Transport Evolved. Bye-bye.